Howdy, y'all. Just waiting to get ready here in a short moment. Looking forward to watching the Habs and the Sabres tonight. And the Sabres, if you can believe it, are actually good. How is that possible? I don't know if you guys were watching just now on RDS. Pierre LeBrun absolutely fawning all over Marc Bergevin. Yuck, man. Really, dude? Really, my dude? That's the guy you're hitching your wagon to, Marc Bergevin? Look, we've had this conversation before a lot on this live blog about the good and the bad of the Marc Bergevin decade in Montreal, but let's be real. By the time it was all said and done, I think team building had definitely passed him by. And really, you're gonna get him. What's he gonna do? I guess he's a guy. He's a good like quick culture change guy. I think when Pierre Gauthier left, they wanted somebody who was just gonna kind of throw everything out and start anew, and he kind of did that, but never really built a team. Never really built a team that could win outside of Carey Price, who he did not draft. So the best player that he ever had, the best players he ever had, Subban, Price, um, Carey Price, Subban, Pacioretty. These are all guys that did Pacioretty. He didn't draft Pacioretty. Pacioretty came after. Anyways, that's kind of how it rolls because obviously Kent Hughes is now enjoying Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield and all those guys for guys that Bergevin drafted. So I think it's just how it goes sometimes. Yeah. So anyways, we're gonna get ready shortly here. Anyways, if you're watching along tonight, the game is on RDS, which is the broadcast I'm watching, and is pretty on time, I would say. And then the if you want, you can watch on TSN2 as well. And then locally on the radio, it's on, of course, TSN 690 and on 98.5. Hey there, Karen. Good to see you again. Hoping for a better result this time than Tuesday's overtime loss to the Washington Capitals. But the Buffalo Sabres are not to be messed with in 2016. They are red hot ever since firing general manager Kevyn Adams and replacing him with Jarmo Kekalainen and as an associate assistant, or whatever you want to call him, Marc Bergevin, former Montreal Canadiens general manager, who I was talking about earlier because Pierre LeBrun was on RDS fawning all over him, talking about how he absolutely was the runner-up with the Islanders and absolutely will get a GM job real soon. I know you're trying, Pierre. I know you're trying to hook up your friend, Pierre, but it's a little shameless. I know that's how it goes. I know that's how it goes in this business. You got your friends and then you write nice things about your friends, but sometimes you got to be a little more level-headed than that, I think. I don't know. Thinking we're going to win tonight. I certainly hope so. This is it's funny. Tonight and Saturday, very difficult. They're not difficult games for the Habs, but they are games that are like super big landmines, I think. Landmines in the schedule. Because Sabres are red hot. And they're now in a playoff spot. And then you have the Senators on Saturday, who have been a mess, but they beat the Canucks, they beat the Rangers, I think. Suddenly they've got a little momentum again. So the real question for the Habs is, if they let up at all, I think Sabres and Sens are both in a position that they could really upset them and win. The Canadiens need to be on, but these are the kinds of opponents that you do let up on a little bit, I will admit. So the Canadiens have that challenge the next 2 games. Hey there, Ryan. I thought they might scratch Jacky for Guhle tonight, since Buffalo isn't tough, and we need him ready for the dirty Senators. Yes, those dirty Senators. Let me get the lines for you. All right, here we got Caulfield, Suzuki, Texier, Slafkovsky, Kapanen, Demidov, of course. Bolduc, Dino, Anderson. We're keeping them going. They're playing well. Bled, Valeno, Gallagher, keeping them going. And then Matson, Dobson, Hudson, Carrier, and Guhle, Jacky with Fowler. So, as you can see, yes, Ryan, you're correct. The big scratch tonight is Jaden Struble. Jaden Struble's out. Guhle's back in. Guhle got a 1 game off on Tuesday. He's still coming back from his adductor surgery injury. And, yeah, they didn't want him to play back-to-back, so they rested him once. It was kind of a weird schedule because they had the game in Montreal and then they had to fly to Washington and play less than 24 hours later. I think they were just, like, trying to manage his load, as they say in the NBA, which maybe they should frankly do in the NHL a little more. I know the NHL, these hockey guys, they want to play every single game. I know that, we got some Ironman streaks going. I think Lane Hudson, you'd have to throw away his car keys to get him to not play a game, and even then he'd probably still take the bus. But I don't know. Load management, I think, is coming to the NHL sooner rather than later. And guys are going to be expected to play like 75 games. I don't know, and take like a day off a month. I think it is. I think it might happen. The only reason why there's lots of reasons why it doesn't happen. I mean, for one, guys are too competitive and they don't want to do it. And then 2, man, this is still a counting stats league, like nobody's business. It means a lot to these guys to get like 70 points or 80 points or 90 points or whatever points. Means everything for the contracts. So I don't know. I don't know what team. I know the Ducks tried it last year, 2 years ago, with Leo Carlsson. They were playing him like 3 out of 4 games, and everybody was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And they're like, "He's not ready. He's not ready to play every day." And you know what? Having an amazing season. So maybe that wasn't a bad idea. Maybe if the Habs had tried that with Slafkovsky in his rookie year, I don't know. Well, whatever. They're happy with what they've got now. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter about his rookie year anymore. Ryan Katz, you say the Rangers are a hot mess and it's all Chris Drury's fault. Yeah, well, I mean, it starts with the ownership there, right? James Dolan is a total freak show. We saw what he did with Jeff Gordon. Didn't like him, fired him, and wanted somebody who's going to be a little more compliant and do everything he says. And now he's got that guy. And look how well they're doing. Hi there, Harry. Hoping we come out strong and build a 3-4 goal lead into the third. Only 5 points ahead of the Sabres. They're only 5 points against us. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy that the Sabres have climbed back into it. They could win the division. Could happen. Probably won't, but it could. Oh, that's an interesting idea, Karen. That load management may actually increase stats because they're rested and they might like have less saggy games where they're not doing anything. That's possible. All right, I got a question for you guys because I'm not sure what the answer is, but I wanted you to let me know. The Canadiens seem to score more when Dobson is in nets, who he got 13 goals compared to Fowler, who's been shut out twice in the last 3 games. Uh, so Dobson, they score more goals when Dobson is in nets compared to Fowler. Is it just luck? Do you think it's like a thing, or is it just like dumb luck? Doesn't matter. I found out Gordon got fired for saying the NHL should have fired George Parros after the Tom Wilson incident. If we all got fired from our jobs for saying that George Parros should not be the head of player safety, I can assure you, I don't think anyone at the Montreal Gazette would be employed right now. I kid. But yeah, that's going to be the real test for Fowler tonight. Is Fowler going to get any run support tonight? I hope so. The 1999 Buffalo uniforms. The 99 Buffalo uniforms, I like. Nothing compares to like the OGs with obviously the blue yellow stripes. And the 1999 Buffalo jerseys are very much of their time and are like ugly, but they're like cool retro ugly. Like I kind of dig it. That one and the Calgary, the horse one. Those two are kind of jerseys that I'm like the all black everything's like very much of its time, and like I'm glad they're mostly gone, but I do like that they kind of bring them back sometimes. Hey there, Mark. Habs are fifth in offensive zone time possession, but near the bottom of the league in shots. It's being suggested on RDS that the reason Hudson was removed from PP1 is because he's too predictable. That's interesting. I was going to talk about that because it seems like they are going to put Demidov and Hudson back on PP1 today, or at least like have more of a timeshare. But we never really got an explanation as to why they made the change in the first place. It's not like the power play was doing badly. I guess they just wanted another look. I don't know. Hey there, Darcy. No bad penalties. That is good advice every night. But as you know, Canadiens are among the lead leaguers. They were second in the league for a long time. I don't know where they're at now. Among the league leaders in penalty minutes, specifically 2-minute penalties. So they've been known to take penalties. Thanks for joining, Rick. Freaking snowfall. Where are you? You're Montreal, right? It's pretty good snow. I think Toronto, Ottawa got hit way harder than Montreal did. Montreal wasn't too bad, but I hear Ontario got hit way harder. Yeah, they're wearing the Sabres 99 jerseys tonight. That's again, that's like I don't know how I feel. Like tonight, it's cool to see them. I don't think I need to see them every night. But they're kind of cool. I don't know. It's weird to see the Sabres play in like black and silver with a logo that's not the buffalo. I mean, it is a buffalo, but it's like a different buffalo. Mark says, you left Toronto last night to come back to Sudbury. Oof, that's a long drive, isn't it? What a mess. Crazy driver, so many accidents. Well, I'm happy you're back home. Well, I hope you're back home safe and sound. Yeah, 12 hours. Oh, God. 12 hours, and I would imagine a lot of just trees. Just a lot of trees. That's my observation of driving in Canada. There's lots of trees. Lots of trees until you get to lots of flat land. Is it just me or do others hear static? Oh, really? Am I having Here, hold on. Let me sound check here. No, it sounds like it's working okay for me. Well, I hope you can hear me, Ryan. I'll try to message you on the board. I'm sorry you can't hear me properly. I did a little sound check and it sounded okay. I hope so. God, I've been having so many sound troubles. Wait, you don't hear it either? Hmm. Oh, you did take a hotel in Barrie. Okay, fair enough. I do have static. Oh, it's so strange. I'm gonna have to figure this out. Oh, okay. I now hear what you guys are talking about. Why is it doing that? Hmm. Very interesting. Very interesting. Well, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why that's doing that. I'm gonna have to do a whole sound check. Well, unfortunately, the game's about to start, so I can't do a sound check now. But I will have to do a sound check. Hmm. Oh well, we'll just have to figure it out. Just have to muddle without it. Karen says, I've got the Equipe Armée Rouge versus the Montreal Canadiens 31st December 1975. Taped it from RDS on New Year's Eve. Oh, damn. Can't wait to watch it. I just graduated from high school. That's going to be fun. Enjoy. There's a delay in the start anyways. Oh, yeah. What's the deal? Why hasn't the game started yet? All right, how's it going now? Sound a little bit better now? The static's gone? Okay. So something's wrong with my microphone. I changed to my internal microphone. So hopefully that does a little bit. Hopefully that helps a little bit. All right. I don't know what happened to my microphone. I wonder what happened. Yeah, this thing. I don't know what happened. I'll have to fix it. It usually works a okay. I'm gonna have to see what happened here. It looks serious. I know. I'm in my like like in my troubleshooting mode. I'm like my fix it mode. Hold on, this is a funny take. I wish we traded for 2023 for 2003 Daniel Briere, not the 2013 version. How about the 2026 version? He's doing pretty good as the GM of the Flyers, is he not? I feel like he's doing all right so far. An executive all along. Hope Marner gets a hat trick tonight. Oh, is it Vegas Toronto? I was hearing all day hot takes about Marner leaving the Leafs, and I was like, why are we bringing this old thing up again? Okay, that makes a lot of sense now, actually, that they brought it back just because he's playing tonight. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I got you. Good evening, Al Wilson. Thanks for joining. God, why the late start time tonight? It's already 7:15. We got places to be. We got places to be. We don't want to be in Buffalo all night. Come on. Come on. We got to move on. No Buffalo. No, I kid. I kid. I kid. I actually have nothing. I actually used to travel to Buffalo a lot to as most Montrealers. I used to go to Buffalo every year to watch NFL live because obviously it's like the only ticket I could afford to go see him in Buffalo. And you know what? Sure, it's not the nicest place in the world, but decent food, kind of fun. People were kind of grumpy, but it was all right. Hotel was kind of scuzzy, but it was all right. Ah, the game tonight between Vegas and Toronto is in Vegas. I'd imagine they give him a standing ovation. I do think there'll probably be a lot of Toronto fans going down. I imagine there's always a lot of Toronto fans in Vegas. They're celebrating something. I think, yeah. Apparently, they're celebrating the 2005 Sabres. No, gotta be something. What Sabres are they celebrating tonight? RDS is just totally skipping whatever that intro was. They're skipping it. I think it was Steve Simmons who wrote today he'll get booed in Toronto when they play there, but they're not playing in. But you're saying that they're playing in Vegas, no? That's what you guys told me. Yeah, they're playing in Vegas. So does he get cheered or not cheered? He gets cheered. There's just be like a couple of rogue Torontonians who went down there to boo. Oh, I see what you guys are saying. You guys are saying that Marner plays in Toronto next Friday. Yes, that will be a bit of a bloodbath, I'm sure. Or will it? How do Torontonians really feel about Marner leaving? I feel like they've kind of reached the point where they're like, they're probably like, oh well, we didn't treat him well anyway. Is there any is there any self reflection uh, amongst Leaf fans about Marner leaving? There must be. I remember Max Pacioretty getting booed here. Yeah, it's true. He hasn't come back a whole lot, has he? Not that like he only just retired, and now he's down in Michigan helping out Michael Hage get ready for the NHL. So Max Pacioretty hasn't had much of a reason to come down, but I do think he's owed a night. He was a very good Montreal Canadian while he was here, and it was not his fault. He was the only guy who knew how to score 30 goals, and they had no one else. They had Galchenyuk. Yeah, Galchenyuk did it a couple times, but not a lot of offense when Max Pacioretty was around. So I don't know why people booed him. Did he not want to be here? I think things had just run their course at that point. It can only take so many years of Bergevin, right? I can't remember if PK Subban got booed. I don't think so. I don't recall. I don't recall that happening. I gotta say, some Leafs fans are super chapped. Is that what you're saying? The Leafs fans are super chapped. Leafs fans think management made him feel unwelcome after asking him to waive his no trade clause. Well, but if he didn't want to sign, like, what was he expecting? He wasn't going to re-sign, so obviously they're going to ask him to move his waive his no trade clause. Like, what did he think was going to happen? Karen says Leafs fans don't do self-reflection, or they would be Habs fans. That's funny. All the Toronto Maple Leafs fans I know like love the team, but they also just like they're so hurt over the years. They kind of just like internalize and shrug over everything. Like they never get like rah rah. They know that there will be no good times, so they kind of just like they just kind of absorb it all. They're just sponges. Toronto Maple Leafs fans, bless their hearts. I'm trying to be nice here, but the fans basically forced Marner out. Like most Canadian markets, media and fans can be tough. Ogden says PK Subban did not get booed. Yeah, I don't recall him getting booed. I think you're right. This shows how ceremonies differ from Montreal. The Sabres ceremony is full and unassuming. I can't recall one in Montreal that was boring. Am I crazy or am I not? Like RDS is just not showing this thing at all. I have no, I, I have no bloody clue what's happening. Tell me who's celebrating the team. They're celebrating the '99 Sabres or the 2005 Sabres? Which Sabres are getting the love tonight? PK did not get booed because he donates to the children's hospital. Well, that's true. People do love him. PK gets ovations every time he appears, says Rick. Ogden says Terrier should have been booed. Now, is this because remember now, Terrier came back as coach. Should he have been booed when he came back as coach, or should he have been booed when he came? I mean, they haven't invited him back to anything. I don't think, right? And I guess he didn't warrant being booed the first time. I don't know. By the way, recently, 20-year anniversary of Michel Terrier's classic rant when he was coaching the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he said that sometimes I just think they want was it? I think they want to be the worst team in the world. Oh man, what a great rant. Steve Dangle. I wish I had the energy to be a crazy Steve Dangle. I don't know the maybe if we do these for the playoffs, maybe I'll be crazy. But so far, these regular season games, it's like we're like eyes on the prize right now. We're eyes on the playoffs. Look, hey, I get excited when the team, when something happens or it's an exciting game, but I can't say that I'm like the way that like a loss for the Leafs will just crush Steve Dangle and he'll act it out and he'll perform it and it's like so fun to watch. Uh, not gonna be me unless maybe in the playoffs it'll happen. I don't know. Yeah, PK gets ovations every time he appears. I think I already posted that. I only watch Steve Dangle when they lose. Karen, same, same. When there's a bad Leafs loss and like I see like my hockey pals talking about it, that's when I go to watch Dangle. And he never lets me down. He always does something so funny. He's great. He is the about talking about hockey on the internet. He is the alpha and omega of this thing. Truly, truly a one of a kind. Ogden says, I was at PK Honor Night at the Bell Center. He brought a Carey Price just to do the triple low five that Terry and band. It was glorious. Wasn't it glorious? It was amazing. And I love that like this current team has like Arbor Jack Guy and Kaiden Guhle kind of do like a weird like stick tappy thing and they love it. This team is like allowed to be fun and free and I think it's gonna be better for them in the end. What are they honoring? I'm trying to find this out too, Mark, because I'm watching RDS and they're just not showing it. They're just showing highlights. Right? They're showing highlights of like Zach Bolduc. They're showing like a Zach Bolduc highlight. Oh no, they're just showing the goals from the Vancouver game. They're not showing anything about this Sabres thing. I don't know. Can somebody tell me what they're celebrating? My brother said it was the '05 Sabres. Is that true? That they were good. They were like weren't they like the best regular season team? Was that the thing? That we came out of the lockout and then the Sabres had this like one great season, but they like didn't really go anywhere in the playoffs. Is that the team that they're celebrating? That's the last time they made the playoffs, and I guess they've made it since then. But sorry, Mark, I literally don't know who they're honoring or what they're honoring. I just know that it's making this thing take forever. Have to listen to the Gordie Howe story told by Kelly Chase, right? When he was a rookie in Hartford on Spittin' Chicklets. Great story of old time hockey. Ooh, I will check that out. Do I think Arbor Jacki is the new PK in terms of his excitement response from Bell Center fans? Ogden asks. That's a really good question. As somebody who monitors and follows a lot about what's going down at the Canadiens for the Gazette, I think that the thing that it reminds me of um, is that level of like the fans love him and there's a feeling that like coaching and management like don't and there's like a disconnect and that's what's causing Arbor to be like so popular amongst the fan base despite being uh so kind of yeah I would say there's a bit of a comparison. Okay, thank God game is about to start. We're off. So Al says, I'm happy Texier resigned for 2 years. So it's 2 years, 2.5 mil per season. Um, I also I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a perfectly wow. Fowler had to make a save pretty much right away. Sabres in their blacks are coming. Um, yeah, the Texier contract is interesting to me. Not that he signed it, and not the terms of it seem fine. It's just that he had the best week of his life, and they're like, let's lock you up. This team does not. Hughes is like pretty definitive when it comes to signing guys. Like if he wants to keep you, like here are the terms, sign. And so far the players have seemed to like get on board. Uh, I think I guess Texier behind the scenes has like proven that he's like a good fit for the team. And Hughes was just like, sure, let's have you another 2 years. Like there's no point waiting around for this. I think so many GMs spend their time like agonizing over every penny. And then they're like, well, if we wait, like maybe Texier is gonna like play worse, and then maybe we want to keep him, or maybe this, or but then you risk maybe he plays really well, and then he wants like 4 million bucks. Hughes, man, he just like he cuts through it, and he's just like, I want you. Here's what we're paying you. Take it or leave it. And so far, almost everyone's bought in. Really interesting to see. Craig Button said it. He was like, honestly, he's like, the longer you wait for any contract, the more you're gonna pay. So if you know you want to keep the guy, just you know make the offer. Got our first little whistle of the game. 90 seconds in, a hand pass. Yeah, exactly. Was surprised they signed Texier so quick. It's a very small sample size. We all remember Harvey Pinard. I guess the difference is that Texier also has got size. He's like pretty surprisingly like bigger than I thought he'd be. He's not big, but he's bigger than I thought he would be. And I just think that uh they see him as like at 2.5 mil. They're like, okay, he could be a first liner, he could be a third liner. So the commitment is a little low. The Pinard thing is that guy was a career AHLer who had like a moment. Whereas Texier is a highly regarded prospect who didn't pan out in two stops. But like they knew that his skills were there. It's tricky. I mean, look, I'm not saying that Texas's great week will end and he'll go back to barely being an NHLer. It could definitely happen, but we'll see. Yeah, also Texier has more NHL experience. He does have 100 career points, right? So certainly that's something that Harvey Pinard's never going to get. But I think I was thinking back to a couple of early contracts in Hughes' tenure, um, Pitlick and Weidman, and he gave them both extra years, and neither did much with them. But they were so low, they were both like $1 million that it just didn't matter. And you had these like NHL caliber-ish guys hanging around. I mean, Weidman probably would have played more if he hadn't hurt himself, if he hadn't gotten hurt. So Hughes is I think when the cost is low, willing to put a risk on that extra year, just be like, whatever, we'll keep you around at this price. Dobson with a Dobson whipped that one from the point, hit the end boards, went all the way back into the half zone. Timur, you never saw Bobby Bond play. I guess you're talking about hip checks. Caulfield, wow, 1-0 Habs. So Caulfield is like a 2-on-1 here. Goalie makes the initial save. Is Luconi tonight? Yeah, 2-on-1. Makes the first save. Caulfield puck comes right back to Caulfield. Roofs the second one. Wow, it is not easy to. So it's Caulfield's 22nd of the season. He was in the midst of a pretty bad slump. Was it 10 games without a goal? No, it wasn't 10 without a game. Five. His first goal in 5 games. So the goal goes to Cole Caulfield. He scores the goal at 3 minutes 11 seconds into the game, assisted by Noah Dobson, and that is the one assist. Now Lane Hudson goes off for a high sticking penalty, so the Sabres get a chance to tie it up on the power play. And they do. That was fast. Tage Thompson from pretty far out, but he gets time and space. So how did that go? Tage along the wall, comes out to the circle, bo, 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 right through Carrier. He carries a screen. Thompson scores. 101 bench Arbor. Arbor didn't do anything. No. The goals were scored 54 seconds apart. Is that what I got here? Yeah. Colton Ellis now has to make a big save off a Demidov off the turnover. Yeah, Demidov steals the puck along the boards and breaks it out, but Colton Ellis with the save. So it's not Luke Conan in that. It's Colton Ellis. Here's the goal. Thompson assisted by Osland and Sucker, and that was at 4:05, and that was a power play goal. Hudson in the box. Who was it? Somebody literally in this pregame. Oh, it was Darcy who was like, "Don't take any stupid penalties tonight." Well, too late. Already 1-1 on the power play for Boston or for Buffalo rather. The MSG feed way ahead of the TSN Sportsnet feed. I have no doubt. I don't know why TSN does this, just to aggravate us. Hudson has to control his stick. He usually is. He doesn't take very many penalties, so Hudson only has 8 penalty minutes this year. So, control your stick. I mean, it doesn't happen too often for him, so I'll cut him some slack. Dobson just got high stick. No call, Ryan Katz says. Norris and Kesselring injured for Buffalo tonight, which is funny because they're both players that were acquired by Buffalo who were traded by their previous teams for always being injured. And now they're on Buffalo and still getting injured. Let there be a lesson if you're the team that potentially acquires Kirby Talk. Might come with you. The injuries might come with you. 7 minutes into this game. Still 1-1. Just updating the live blog over on the Gazette website. If ever you want to check out the goals are still there. They're there when you need them. Habs are decent at limiting the time we get to celebrate a goal. I know they give them up fast. They do give up the counter punch pretty fast. I will say they did it a lot at the beginning of the season, and they haven't done it as much lately, but they're still doing a lot. One of the most popular Sabres works between the benches. You talking about Rob Ray? Does Rob Ray still do it? In your recliner, counting your lap, knitting, and listening to me. Perfect evening. Damn. Knitting and a cat in a lap. Love it. Enjoy. Blue says, crazy that the two youngest team in the league and both in the playoffs. I don't know what's the craziest part about it, that the two youngest teams are that the Sabres are in the playoffs. Is there anything crazier than that? Reinbacker, Doc, and a first for Tage. I don't think they're trading Tage anymore. Buffalo's playoff bound, baby. Buffalo's adding to somebody. They want players now. I don't know. I don't know what they got planned. I don't know what Kekalaine's thinking. Good old Lindy Ruff, but he ain't lucky. How about Lindy Ruff? Is he the coach of the Sabres? Yeah, he is, eh? Man, that team. Man, the Sabres. What, Rick Bonus wasn't available? No, he's not available. He does have a job. Oh man. NHL coaches keep going round and round. Wow, 14-2. Lindy Ruff has revitalized the Sabres since December 6th. Their one-loss record is the best since then, the best in the league. Yeah, they won 14 of their last 16 games. What the hell universe is this? So they're due for a loss, no? You could say the same about the Habs. I know the Habs lost the other night, but I think the Habs have generally played pretty well of late, outside of a couple of losses. Nice block by Slavkovsky on a Samuelson slap shot from the point. We don't see Slav do too many textbook down on one knee shot blocks like that, but no, that was not a textbook one. Actually opened his legs. Definitely could have gotten hit on the ankle, but he's all right. Wayne Gretzky on a commercial. Do I dare ask what the commercial's about? Gambling? I know he does some gambling ones. That guy likes a good wager, I'll tell you that much. Blue says Marty's a good coach. Players want to play for him. I mean, I wonder what a guy like Texier thinks. That guy's been bouncing around a little bit, struggled to find a place in this league, joins the Habs, and suddenly he's the proud owner of a new 2-year contract extension. I'd imagine he thinks pretty highly of Martin Saint Louis. Terry and Kim Pegula run the Sabres. Watch and see. They want a new arena, just like they blackmailed Bills fans and taxpayers. That is, I will say he's not unique to owners in that way, that owners do like to blackmail their cities for for fun, expensive things, but they are particularly good at it. Not sure Gretzky is such a great one to have hawking goods in Canada anymore. Really? Oh, who's on the agonizing on the bench there? That's Sammy Blais. Sammy Blais is in Honduras on the bench. Sabres got a chance to take a lead here. Where's what was it? Darcy. Darcy was one who was saying that the guys can't take bad penalties tonight. Well, they've taken two they probably ought to not have taken. Hold on, we got some Dano takes here. Mark says he's not that impressed with Dano so far. I mean, the guy's winning a lot of face-offs. He's winning a lot of face-offs, and he's been pretty good on the defensive side of things. You know, yeah, he's not doing a lot of offense. Whereas Blue says Dano has come in and done what everyone knew he'd be, what what everybody knew he would do. So he's a great pickup. I see what you mean. Oh, Gretzky's hawking a credit card. I see. Yeah, I don't think I would buy a credit card or buy a credit card. I don't think I would get a credit card if Gretzky told me to get it. Guhle just wanted to make the stat sheet. Ouch. He just came back, Timur. Mercy. Show some mercy on him. Men against boys so far, Mark says. Yeah, it's 9-3 shots for Buffalo, by the way. And they've still got a minute 15 left on this power play. Ryan says he didn't see a penalty there. Yeah, I didn't either, but well, I think Guhle got a penalty for being a half step too slow. Wow, what a goal. Yikes. Zoinks, guys. 2-1 Sabres. Josh Doan just scored one like Cole Caulfield, getting that sharp angle here, getting that short side. Oh, not even sure how he got space there. Are the Utah Utes going to be sad that they lost this guy? He's already looking like he's better than Paterka. Have to hope the back to back will slow the Sabres down as the day goes on. Still have a cough? Apple cider vinegar and honey. It's yeah, it's a bit of like a weird perma cough, Karen. But you're right. I have a tea going tonight to get me through the game here. Blue says the refs are giving this one to the Sabres tonight. Well, they got two power plays, two goals so far, but the Habs penalty kills gotta be better tonight. Fowler didn't look great on that goal. He cheated on that one, Mark. I don't think he was expecting Doan. He was fully expecting Doan to pass it off, and then Doan caught him cheating on the play. Those face-off wins are valuable. That's why the Habs got Dano. Where was Dano there? Was he on the ice? Oh, nice passing play. Hey, no. What the hell happened there? What the heck was that? Texier was convinced he scored, and the refs were like, "Heavens no!" What a strange. All right, well, we'll get back to it. Let's keep leading the league in penalties. It seems to be going great for us. Yeah, we have a good penalty kill. How's have a good penalty kill, but not tonight. Not tonight, that's for sure. Pimpvash says, "Hey, stop blaming the refs. We make a lot of mistakes and take penalties to compensate. The problem is that we have a mediocre at best penalty kill. Our problem is defensive play. Isn't the penalty kill actually ranked like pretty decently? Maybe I should go check that out. Hold on. The Canadians' penalty kill percentage is they're middle of the pack. They're 14th right now. The penalty kill. Well, now the Habs have a power play. Adam Carter says, "Get Fowler out. That's terrible." That was one goal, right? He's been pretty good. Not his fault. He got shut out 2 games and 2 games out of his last three, but I do think Fowler is. By the way, Fowler was named an AHL All Star today, so I think it's pretty clear that when February 5th hits and it's time for the Olympic break, that Fowler is going to get sent down back to Laval. So I think that's pretty clear that that's going to happen. Now, whether he gets called back up, I don't know, but for now, he'll be going back to Laval when the Olympic break hits. Zach Benson's the one who goes off. So here's the let's look at that Texier play again. There goes the oh my goodness. It hit the crossbar and went directly down. So all it would have taken was literally somebody to tap it in and it didn't do it. Unfreaking believable. That's a tough break for the Habs. So it didn't go in. The ref was absolutely correct on that call. But I just wish that the Habs would have been able to there you go. Welcome back to the first power play unit. Hudson and DeVito. Other teams would be thrilled to be getting a 5-on-3, but instead, not the Habs. Well, they didn't score and it cost them the game against the Caps. Let's see if things can go a little bit better this time. What a shot! There you go. We talk about Demidov being one of the best passers we've seen in a long time, but how about that shot? Holy moly, left wide open, but it wasn't exactly an easy angle to shoot from. But oh my God, he still got all of it. What a blast. What an absolute blast for Demidov. Unreal. Timur says, nice shot. You know it. Demidov breaks the power play curse. How about Hudson walking in? Puck right in the crease. Canadiens still. What a blast, Talifer says. That's 40 points on the season for Demidov, by the way. Marty was openly critical of the power play last game. Yeah, it was 0 for 4, no? Doesn't look like this other power play that was going to work out too much, but whatever. The Habs scored one. Oh, it's Colton Ellis, not Colton Ellis. Apologies to Colton Ellis for misspelling your name. Okay, back to 5-on-5. And now we got a 2-on-1 for the Sabres. What a great. Benson feathered a beautiful pass, crossed the sprawling defenseman, and then it also hopped over the other player's stick. It was like too nice a pass. No one could get it. Now it's a 3-on-2 coming in. Now it's gonna be a 3-on-3, but still, they give Benson a pretty good chance right in front. He's good, Benson. I thought he was another one of those kind of small forwards they like to collect, but he's definitely the standout of the bunch. Tim Fash says Hudson's looking for the perfect pass with a wide open shot. He ends up nothing at all. This team has to learn you're allowed to shoot the puck and bang in a rebound, especially with the man advantage. Come on. So we were talking about this earlier, Pim Fash. I don't know if you were here or not, but saying that that was the reason why Dobson got put on power play one for a little while. Wow, really nice play by Fowler off the rush there. But yeah, that was kind of the thought process in putting Dobson in, somebody who has kind of the shoot and pass mentality. Blue says the days of just blasting and hoping are over in this new NHL. So much passing is key. The problem in the NHL now is that if you get into the windup to take a slap shot, you'll get like three guys in front blocking you, and the puck doesn't get through. But now you have guys like Matheson who just do like these quick flicks on the net. Because I mean, with the way sticks are made now, the puck flies off the stick, so you can just do like a little flick, and then boom. Mark says. RDS was saying that's why he's removed from the PP. Too many passes. Yeah, I think a little back to basics with Dobson makes a lot of sense. But they put Hudson in this time around, and they scored. Although I think we'll probably see more of a timeshare. That would be my guess. And it's 2-2 with 2 minutes to go. So Tage Thompson also has 2 points tonight, by the way. So does Us Ostland. Ostland has 2 points tonight, and so far, five different Habs getting on the scoreboard, and it's the usual five that you know with. Yeah, I feel like the Habs were shooting a little more, and now they're kind of back to the passing a little bit. Where's Bobby Hull when you need him? He could blast a shot from far out and score. I don't know if he's still. I don't know if that's possible anymore, but we got some good shooters, man. We just saw Demidov last one. I think Slavkovsky's got a deflective shot. Obviously, Caulfield's got a good shot. You just need to shoot more. Mark says I'm fine with 4 passes, just not 14. I like that. Sheldon Surrey had a cannon, Karen says. I know, we don't have that kind of big blaster from the point. The Ally Euphrates, man, we don't have those anymore in the league. It's just not a thing anymore. Even like Weber, I feel like Weber was kind of like the last guy that would just shoot a slap shot through you. Was Weber the one who broke Gallagher's hand? Was Weber the one that broke Gallagher's hand with a slap shot? I can't remember now. Yeah, exactly. Weber was like the last of that era of like the big booming slap shot guy. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Ostlund, man, got the puck back in the circle and took a nice big blast. Fowler had to look sharp on that one. Timur, I assume you're talking about Cole Caulfield. So you say goals per game. Yeah, I mean, he was a hot streak October, November, December, kind of average. January, a little low. Ice times dropped a little bit. This is Caulfield you're talking about, eh? If I remember correctly, last year, kind of the same thing. Started off hot, slowed down, kind of got hot again. He's a scorer. He kind of runs hot and cold, but I think he got hot as the season ended, right? Is that not to say that Wheeler won't happen? Well, that's it. It's first period over. 2-2. Shots 12-7 Buffalo. What's your blog schedule for next week? Rick asks me. Let me check the Habs schedule right now. Hold on. I think I'm kind of like in a good spot now where I'm gonna kind of do the weekday games. Yeah, I'll do the next. I'll do Tuesday, Thursday. I can't do Saturday, but I'll do Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah, I'll do next Tuesday, Thursday. So it's the Habs against the Wild. Ooh, that'll be a fun one with Quinn Hughes, and then Sabres again. Good, goodness gracious. Blue says, good road period. Dano is so good defensively. Exactly what the Habs needed. We don't need more goal scoring. What did he do? How did he do this period, by the way? How was the way we judge Dano is on face-offs mostly, and he was 50% on face-offs so far. His score status is weighted by October. He's not our top scorer since then. Uh, yeah, I mean, how can I put it? Yeah, I mean, basic. I mean, I don't know who's the top scorer. I mean, he's the top goal scorer, right? He got off to a really fast start. That is undoubtedly true, and is not scoring as much uh as he is now. Remains to be seen. That's the thing about him. If he ends the season, he scores 40 goals and he gets hot again, then it's like, okay, well, you put up with the inconsistencies because every goal scorer is kind of like most goal scorers are kind of like that. But if he doesn't get hot for the rest of the season and he just tailed off, then yeah, it's a pretty bad season for him. Like for me, Caulfield, if he doesn't score 40 goals or get close to 40 goals, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed considering how he started. What else do we got? Mark says Jano lost the faceoff, which led to the first goal. Awful period for him. Should let the point total of Hudson skip. Shouldn't let the point total of Hudson skip by. Skip by. 113 points. Oh my God. He is unbelievable. Hudson, I mean, I said it. I think Hudson to me is my MVP of the team so far this season. He's the straw that stirs the drink around here. Hi there, Bob. Entertaining period. Nice to finally see the Sabres play some good hockey. I know, right? The Sabres have been. I feel like the Sabres always play the Habs pretty tough, but Sabres are actually winning again. I feel for our Buffalonian pals. They deserve a little something. They deserve a little treat. Good, we got that 5-on-3 goal. Darcy, you were the one that said they shouldn't be getting taking bad penalties tonight, and look what happened. Look what happened. They gave up 2 power play goals. You were right. You were right on the money. Yeah, anybody's got to shovel themselves out today. What's going on with the shoveling? Let me know how it's going. Wow, I'm surprised. The deserve to win meter says 59% Habs. Was not expecting that. Polymarket's got 53 cents on the dollar going to the Habs. And then finally in chances, we got 5 scoring chances for the Habs, 3 high danger chances for the Habs, and then for the Sabres, 8 scoring chances, 3 high danger chances. They are all tied up in high danger chances tonight. So a pretty even game, I would say. Power play so far being the big difference, obviously. Karen says face-offs, 58% Habs, and then the block shots are 11-1 Habs and hits 9-7. Damn. 11-1 block shots. That's crazy. Yeah, don't be if your heart's not working, don't be clearing snow. It's dangerous. Eric, you said Panarin. I did say Panarin. What about Zibanejad? Would be cheaper on both counts and a centerman that would fit well with Demidov. Yeah, Zibanejad's kind of a weird one. He was uh awful like last year and looked like he was on his way out of like certainly didn't look like the elite player that signed that long-term deal. Now he's having a great season. He that contract I think is a little bit too onerous for the Habs. I don't think the Habs are going to be in the business of wanting to add a contract like Zibanejad. Zibanejad gets paid until 2030. So I just don't know. Yeah, I think Sabanajad's a little too. I think I'm happy for him that he's having a comeback season, but I think the contract is a little too onerous for them to pick up. Hey Max, how you doing? Welcome back. I like Knuckles' comments on travel on Hockey Inside Out. They have the best hotels, eat the best food. Everything is 5 star for these guys, so he doesn't buy the travel excuse ever. And then Blue said, but Knuckles is also wasted the whole time. No, he's saying that today the players have a lot. No, that's it. Back in the day, but that's what Knuckles is saying. Back in the day, they would travel and then they would just arrive at the hotel and it'd be like, okay, off you go. And yeah, Nyland get into some trouble. He's talked about it. Uh, but now the Canadians don't do that. Nobody goes out and gets in trouble anymore. The flight lands. They go to the hotel. They plug in their video games. They get room service, or they don't get room service. They get like their own nutritionist, make them a nice meal, and they don't have to even think. Do you even know that you're traveling? You're literally spending your whole time like probably like MP3 music player on, listen to Spotify, listen to your podcasts. Barely facing the outside world on these road trips. Mark says Mboko. Mboko's at the game. She looks like the real deal. Hey, she had a great year last year. Hope she turns it up again. And yeah, Max says, wasted or not, Chris Island still brought it to every single game and played hard. Ooh, Bob Taylor with a support of Knuckles' book. Love it. Here's a good intermission question I was going to ask, but Max asks it. Says, what was the consensus on the Texier extension? I thought it was premature on a short sample size, but it ain't my money. That was me too. I thought I was like, oh, why even bother signing him now? But the contract is so like small that I'm kind of like, hey, you know what? If you like him and he's good vibes, Craig Button said it. Anytime with a contract, if you wait, you're probably paying more. So if you like the guy, just do it. And I think that's where the Canadians landed. They like him, they like the fit. At $2.5 million, he does not have to be a 50-point player. He does not have to be a first line player. 2.5 mil is just what you play a guy to show up and play. So if they like him, if he fits the team, if he's got personality, he's got decent size, he's not killing penalties or doing much right now, but he probably could. Um, Good at one-on-one skills. Yeah, I guess you know, that's the thing about the Texty contract. I think, yeah, I don't see any issue with the length or the money. It's just he's only had one good week, and I don't know him super well. And I didn't feel like there was any compelling need to do it right away. But you know what? If they think he's going to get more expensive and they like him enough, more power to him. Tom says nothing terribly wrong with their current roster. They just need a little more toughness on the puck, up and down the ice. I think that's going to be the interesting test for this team as they go forward. I think they have a lot of skill. I think they have all the skill that you probably need because anymore you just can't fit it under the cap. I think they have like enough skilled players on there, maybe one more. So the really the rest of the team is to find like strong defensive players, physical players. I do think that's going to be like the last fit here when they try to really contend. I would say that if let's say the Canadians are like in the race for the division or conference lead as they are right now, if they're in that race, and they decide to start maybe trading a first round pick for like a Kiefer Sherwood, then you know that they're serious about winning because those are the guys that like I think this team will probably put them over the edge, but they got to be near the edge to get there. So once they kind of have the star guys in place, I think then they can really like move on to getting those kinds of players. But I agree with you, Team Ward, they need a little more. They definitely need more sandpaper for the playoffs. But I think the skill's in place. So I like that they got the skill, get the sandpaper. How well is Bryce Pickford doing? He's scheduled to finish with 55 goals in Medicine Hat as a defenseman. I don't even know what to think about. His numbers are so crazy. He's an overaged defenseman. Seems to have decent size. Like, what is the does he have any contemporaries that have like done a similar trajectory to the trajectory? Like, I don't know. He's so strange. He's a real unicorn, that guy. I'm really excited to see what happens. Blue says 2.5 million is nothing. 2.5 million is the new 1 million. With the way the cap is, and 1 million is nothing. Yeah, 2.5 million is absolutely nothing. If he's bad, you can bury him. It just doesn't matter. I would love to make 2.5 million a year for 2 years. You and me both, Max. You and me both. Is it too late? Is it too late for us to learn how to play hockey? At this rate, I think the best chance that I have is to learn how to throw a baseball left-handed, and then maybe at like 45, I can be like a junk baller who comes in and strikes out like a left-handed hitter, and then I leave. Anyone who questions Chris Nyland's compete level is brain damage. If you question Chris Nyland, it's probably because you got punched by Chris Nyland and he scrambled your brain. Okay, Chris Nyland, to this day, man, he's a tough cookie. That guy, love him. I love Chris Nyland. Good dude. I'll defend him to the death. When TSN even mentions officiating, it probably means it's not just us. Yeah, I don't know. I get it. Like soft calls happen all the time for us and for them and for this team and that team. The officiating is inconsistent in this league, and it happens. You have to be able to overcome it. Nobody's out to get anybody. It's just the game is fast, and the refs miss all kinds of shit. I will say the refs did get that Texier thing right when he hit the crossbar and it landed right down. That was impressive, actually, because the team was absolutely celebrating like he had scored. But anyways, thank you, Max, for watching Hockey Inside Out. Another super fun episode to make. Chris Nyland's back. He was off a week to do some New York Rangers related 100th anniversary business, but came back. And yeah, we have a new episode where we talk about why do the Canadiens struggle uh, in sort of these tough one goal games, like against the Capitals. How are they going to get over the hump and be able to win those like tough? How are they going to win the real tough games? So that's what Nyland and Green are talking about. They also talked a little bit about the goaltending situation. Obviously, how is this going to come to a head? Um, and then what else did they talk about? They talked about Slavkovsky. They talked about Kapanen. They talked about the Texier, not the extension because he signed the extension like 1 hour after we recorded the show. But they did talk about sort of Texier's strong play. Um, and yeah, we've got some bonus episodes coming up. We have one today on Noah Dobson, which is a lot of fun because we haven't had a chance to do a whole episode on Noah Dobson yet. And then tomorrow, what's tomorrow's episode about? Oh, it's about Michael Hage. Did you check that one out? That's fun. They talked about Michael Hage, and then Friday, Saturdays, you guys are gonna talk about. I'm sure you guys are gonna have comments on. We'll get to that one. You guys talking about the Bills? Are you guys Bills fans? I guess it's okay to talk about the Bills since we are watching the Sabres tonight. I don't have an NFL team. I like the NFL. I watch football, but I don't have a team. Your team will be my team. Love the Owls. I got some Owl swag. I gotta wear some Owl swag next time we do a game. I don't think too much about like what I'm wearing for this show, but I should wear more. I should be more costumed. Let me know if you want. Let me know if you want me to wear more jerseys on this show. I got some fun ones. I do have some swag. Yeah, the new CFL rules suck. Might ruin the league. Wouldn't be the first. Wouldn't be the first time the CFL accidentally ruined itself. Man, second time today, Dobson's taking a shot from the point, and it rings around the boards and just goes completely back into the Hab zone. Timur says, I find it infuriating, disgusting, really, that TSN and Sportsnet black out other games with Canadian-based teams like Winnipeg, Minnesota tonight, but they'll let us watch Philadelphia, Pittsburgh. I know, it's so stupid. I know they're trying to like justify spending an absurd amount of money for this national package, but like, really, you're going to prevent somebody from like Montreal from watching the Winnipeg game? How many people really want to do that? Like two people. Just let them do it. Mark says I canceled Sportsnet after the Markov slight. Damn, that wasn't that long ago. That's harsh. Did they let you do that, or they were like, no, you're under contract. You can never leave. You said, why did you get a red bar on your last comment? Really? I didn't even know you could do that. Is that a thing? I don't know. I said the last time I watched the NHL, Franco Harris was playing. Who's Franco Harris? I don't know this reference. Hey, Habs scoring the power play. There you go. I was trying to figure out why some participants are being zapped out here right now. Can't figure that one out. Hudson with the initial shot and then Suzuki off the rebound. Very nice. Was that a bank shot? Which one? The goal was? No, I don't think so. That was like a slap shot with a off the rebound. No, that'll be offside. Well, there you go. For all the talk of how good Buffalo seemed to look in the first, they are down 3-2 in the second period. Yeah, went off the goalie, I think is what happened. Yeah. I know after the power plays were so bad in the Washington game, both for both sides. Funny to see the power plays doing so well tonight. It goes to show with the power play, it's like sometimes it's just like the little tweaks that make it happen. Who's getting Kapanen's getting a little getting looked at on the bench here, bleeding from his nose. What happened there? Puck? Oh yeah, he was on the bench. Collateral damage on the bench. Poor Kapanen. A little bit of booing there on Carrier. Sabres fans thought there should have been a penalty there. I haven't heard too much from the fans tonight. It's been a pretty like I mean you could see a ton of red jerseys behind the Habs net, but the Sabres also have those weird like third red jerseys that might maybe some of those are Buffalo jerseys. I couldn't tell. So now that you've seen Dobson, you've seen Hudson, you've seen them put Texier in, you've seen them try Patrick Laine when he's healthy, get in there. Bolduc is the bumper. You've seen it all. You've seen every permutation of this power play. What do you think is the winning combination for this team? Let me know what you think. I know last year in the playoffs against Washington, for that brief moment when it was Suzuki, Caulfield, Demidov, Slavkovsky, Hudson, and of course we've seen that now, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, that's the one." Yeah, Mark's like the one they have now. I know they keep changing it, but maybe they ought to not. Jack has 2 hits and 441 of ice time. He hasn't played a whole lot, has he? No, he has not played a lot at all. 441, where the next lowest is Guhle at 639. And Guhle did spend time in the box. Man, red hot, the Atlantic Division. Tampa's not losing. Buffalo's not losing. Cans are playing well, but like they're still just kind of holding serve. Nice little play in the neutral zone. Bolduc kind of spinning and waiting and dropping it to Dano. And then he laid a huge hit. The hit itself wasn't huge, but definitely him just throwing the body. Texier leading the Habs in points in 2026. That's why he got his extension, I guess. Blue says Hudson's Minov, Suzuki Caulfield Slaps, the one that they've got. Jack not on the ice for any goals so far. No, it's the penalty killing unit that's been on the ice for all the goals. Well, Jack just nailed Zucker. Zucker is down. Zucker is he got nailed by Jack but I don't think he wasn't like meant to be a big hit, but he just didn't see it coming at all. Yeah, Jack kind of like, yo, I didn't mean to do anything, bro. Don't put me in the box, please. Okay, Zucker's getting up. I think he'll get off on his own strength here, but I think that hit just knocked the wind out of him. Yeah, off he goes. So he's trying to get to dump the puck in. Well, no, that replay is not going to show me nothing. I mean, it was just a suicide pass attempt, but I, I don't understand what I'm looking at here. They didn't even get him. RDS didn't even get the angle. I couldn't even see what was going on. It looks like just behind the play, Jack I kind of caught him from behind in like an awkward way. Slavkovsky with a nice zone entry and shot, but he missed the net. What a goal. Tied up 3-3. Is that Tuck with the shot? What a blast by Alex Tuck. There's another guy that might. Well, he would have been available at the deadline, but now I imagine Buffalo's sending him a big fat apology cake and hoping he stays around for another 6 years. What an amazing play, Tage Thompson. Tage Thompson's having a great night. Got to give it up to Tage Thompson, man. Good player. Bob says Fowler's looking a little weak tonight. Yeah, what do you think about that one? I mean, that was a blast by Tuck. I don't know if there's anything he could have done. He did kind of left them wide open, but Lou says no chance for Fowler. Yeah, that was a tough one, but I definitely think the Doan one is one that was like, oh man, brutal giveaway by the Habs. What was that? Guhle with the giveaway? He doesn't. I understand it's very difficult to come back mid-season when you haven't played for 3 months and everybody else has been playing nonstop. But I got to be real. Kaiden Guhle doesn't look remotely ready to play like top 4 minutes. What do we got here? We got Josh Anderson at Greenway. All right, we got another vote. Rick says Fowler should have had that one. Ooh, Ryan Katz. Fowler looking like a rookie tonight. Max says team looked a little lazy on that goal. And Bob agrees. Okay. But then Steve says no chance for Fowler. I'm not sure about that. Could have been, could have, would have, should have. This is tough. I don't know what you got. You guys are. Adam says that was BS defending. Tuck was left wide open on that one. That's for sure. I'm sure it's been said before, but we carried Price and a so-so team in front of him. Now we got a team with a so-so goaltending. Timing sucks. Blue says not many goalies stopping that. Man, you guys are like all over the place on this Fowler goal. I don't know what to believe. And now we got another skirmish at the other end of the ice. So now both teams are starting to get pretty chippy. It's going to get a physical game. Goodness, we were easy to score again, Pinchbash says. Not even an odd man rush. Allowing team to coast in. I don't care about standings or loser points. Goal differential is the story. Ours is mediocre at best. You don't care about the standings, but that's how you get in. I guess if you're suggesting that the goal differential means that they're gonna like go down in the standings, I suppose so. But the goal differential is going up. Not so bad, right? Blais is a perfect fourth liner, Ryan says. Tuck or Thompson would look good in a Habs sweater. I know, and when the Sabres were bad, it looked like anything was on the table, but now they're good. And I just can't imagine the Sabres in the midst of their first playoff race in 11,000 years would entertain trading any of those guys, including Tuck, who's a free agent at the end of the year and seems already set on leaving. And we got a whistle behind the play. Byram standing over a knocked over Byram. Missed what happened there. All right, we're getting whistles, 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 whistles. Yeah, Purewood's right. The referees are gonna have to settle this one down. What do we got here? Not Fowler's fault. We allow a team to slowly move into prime scoring with 5-on-5 and no odd man rush. That is textbook bad coverage, and why our goal differential is average. Timur says tuck for Caulfield, but Buffalo aren't looking to downgrade. But they don't have him signed yet beyond the season. So I don't know what's going to happen with Tuck. They're going to keep him. They might make the playoffs. They got to keep him. But he might not stick around. Maybe they have to sign him in the offseason. You never know. We got 3 goals on 10 shots. I'm thinking that's what the Russians had against the Habs back in 75. Kelly Morgan says that's what Doc was supposed to be. Yeah, that's very true. That is what they thought Doc would be, like a big, hard to move scorer. Hasn't worked out that way. When a shooter like Thompson makes a great pass like that, and it's near perfect shot, what's Fowler supposed to do? Brian says game's getting chippy. It is getting chippy. Bob agrees with Kelly. What did Kelly say? Oh, Doc. Yeah. But at least they're playing. Yeah, I get that now. Blay got cross checked, Rick says. And that's why the Habs are on the power play. No, it's a 4-on-4. Carrier with an absolutely stupid, stupid spinorama pass into the Sabres guy's skates. I don't know what he was thinking there. Jeez Louise. Well, you'd think the Abs would have a good time here on the 4-on-4 with their speed, but oh, nice, very nice pass, Slavkovsky to Kapanen. Very nice try. Slavkovsky doing the whole around the world and ooh, nearly beat Ellis with a short angle shot, but instead the Sabres get to bring the puck up the ice. And then Samuelson really just allowed to kind of blow through who was that? Kaiden Guhle? Dahlen playing on another team would be a Norris candidate every year. He has not gotten a lot of support on the Sabres over the years, that's for sure. I'm not really sure how I feel about Owen Power. He's playing really well now, but yeah, I mean, he seems like he's coming to his own here. Cat says the defense is too soft on the Sabres. Yeah, the Sabres forwards are very aggressive today. I don't know if the Canadiens were not expecting it. Oof. Just another chance there. Fowler kind of gave up a rebound off the rush, and Sabres player was nearly there to jump on it. Guhle looks rusty, Mark says. Yeah, I don't think he looks. Man, he looks really just not not ready. They don't. I mean, he's healthy. He did his like obligatory rehab to get back in. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I get that he'd be a little rusty, but he looks really rusty. Kind of scary watching it. Maboko in the Adelaide final, Karen says. Oh, that's cool. Pimfash says, Caulfield dangle dangle, Carrier silly spinning backhand nowhere, result no shot. Meanwhile, Buffalo comes opening shot, get rebound. Don't overthink it, boys. There you go. Pimfash is ready to see the Canadiens go hard to the net, which they are not doing at the moment. Matson nailed a guy at the boards near the benches and thought something was going to happen, but no, they're going to keep playing. Sabres have good size and good speed. I don't watch them much, Max says. I can tell you that, yeah, surprised to see this team so good finally. Took a long time. Suzuki Caulfield on the 2-on-1, and man, the pass just came a little too slow. And now the Sabres take it back. That's good. That's a trip, maybe? Yeah, no. Mallenstein just nailed Carrier behind the play. Cat says lots of cheap shots by both teams. Yeah, this game is getting physical now. Look out. Cat says our defense looking scary bad right now. They're up to 22 shots for the Sabres, 15 for the Habs so far. 2:20 left in the second period. It's tied up at 3. Right now, Bolduc and Anderson are doing a nice job cycling behind the net. Is this a playoff game? Steve Frost asked. I know the intensity has ratcheted up considerably as we've gotten into this late part of the second period, and the crowd is very animated. They're looking for blood. Harry says, I don't mind if this game gets physical, but I'm not liking the cheap shots. Tyler says, "What a play by Dobson to start the 2-on-1." Oh, they just showed the replay of that hit by Malincine on Carrier. Yoicks. Little TV timeout, but we're nearly done the second period here. Tied up at 3 still. Here, you got a fun stat from Sportsnet Stats. So, fewest games to 100 assists by a defenseman in NHL history. Zubov at 127, and then it's Hudson at 132, and then Mark Howe and Stefan Persson at 135. Did you know that about Lane Hudson? Second fastest defenseman to 100 assists in NHL history. That's crazy. That's absolutely bonkers, bananas crazy, I think. Al says time for Jack to drop the gloves. Pimpfash says it's not looking like a contender. They're easy to play against, and they get good looks and or start the cycle. Ryan Katz said, didn't expect a physical game. Yeah, I didn't either, actually. Mark says entertaining. He's entertained. All right, nearly done the second period here. Nope. Al says Zubov was so good. He was. Oh, Caulfield with a bad giveaway in the offensive zone. Sabres able to take it down the ice. Defenseman bailed him out though, but Thompson, man, came barreling in. But it's literally Thompson and Tuck barreling in. You do not want to deal. That's going to be an icing call with 1:15 left. Canes are just hanging on here, trying to get to the dressing room here. There's like a minute 13 left in the second period. Blue says Corey Pronman has Zurowski as 8th overall pick in an early redraft from last year. Well, that's nice. I'm playing well. Still don't like Lane Hudson though. Still not a big fan of his. Aaron Rooney says you're still back on the first period. The Texier goal was in. No, it did hit the crossbar and go down. They showed the replay. It looked pretty definitive to me, but it was a very nice play. Caulfield kind of had a good. He didn't have anywhere to put the puck in the offensive zone, but he kind of had some time and space, and he kind of ended up just sort of losing it. I don't know if he could have put it in the corner and saved some time here. You say at 8:46 it lands behind the line. Really? It looked pretty definitive to me on the replay I saw. All right. I'll check it out later. Pronman had Hudson as third in a redraft. Really? Isn't he like super? Didn't he have him ranked? Oh, I guess he had him 13th ranked in the U23 3 or whatever list he did. But when was it? It was last year, like last off season when he was like, he might be a top 4 defenseman. That was when Promin. Everybody was mad at Promin. Okay, well, Promin has him third in a redraft. I guess it's either what he says, either what he says about that draft, or what he says about Hudson. I guess. I mean, for all for all the hemming and hawing around here about the Canadiens being not very good and easy to play against, they are still tied in this game, so it's still anybody's shot here. I don't think they're playing. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that they're playing a particularly amazing game, and I do think Buffalo is getting way too many opportunities in the offensive zone, but they are still tied up, and they still got good a chance as any to take this one out and win. Priman had Hudson's stick handling compete level as average. Yes, that was the funny bit from Praman. Rick Woods is shifting Caulfield down in third line has no support. I thought Team Were New Hockey. Did that happen? Late. I'm always like never sure how to see if like a late period switch ends up being anything or not. Caulfield's having a outside of Caulfield's goal. I'd say he's not having the greatest night that I've seen. Great. I just got to shout out the way that you wrote Prawnman. You called him Prawn Knob. That's funny. Call him, at first, I thought you called him Porn Knob, and I thought that was even funnier, but you just said Prawn Knob. Let's check out the old odds here. The old odd machine. So the Money Puck deserved to win meter has the Canadians at 81%, which to me says that goaltending is kind of what's letting them down here because they're saying that the Habs should be in the lead outright. So that's kind of interesting. Meanwhile, Polymarket has the Habs at 53 cents on the dollar, so that's much more even. And then high danger chances, we got the Canadians at 10 chances, 6 high danger. The Sabres at 14 chances, 5 high danger. I don't know if these numbers are surprising to you guys in any way. 6-5 high danger chances. So the Canadians are getting their chances. It's not as clear cut that Buffalo is running roughshod in the offensive zone. It seems like there's a bit of back and forth going on here. Karen says, just watched Demidov's goal. What a wicked shot! I know. I wish he took more. I wish he took more shots. He's only got 11 goals on the season. He could have so many more. I think if he shot a little more. I think when you guys are really talking about the Canadians needing to shoot more and they don't shoot enough, I think that's part of the problem with they've gotten better at it, but definitely at certain parts early in the season and then like the last couple of games, um, having Slavkovsky, Demidov, Hudson, those guys especially are like pass first guys, so it's tricky. Mark says we should have this game in the bag. The Sabres played last night. They'll be tired. The poor little boys. Yes, Mark, you were a firm non-believer in the back-to-back. Um, and Mark, you have a supporter in Chris Nyland today, yesterday on Hockey Inside Out. We talked to him about the Canadians being in the second back-to-back against the Capitals, and he said it was ooey, and that there's no excuse. The blown lead is a blown lead. Don't bring it into it. But let's see what happens tonight. Let's see if the Sabres take the foot off the gas. They have not taken the foot off the gas in over a month. They've won 14 of their last 16 games. They're 3-1-1 in back-to-backs this year. So they don't care if it's a back-to-back. So neither should the Habs. And the Habs should not expect anything. Can't say that the Bolduc Dano Anderson line's having a good one tonight. They're 0 for 5 in the 5-on-5 shot on attempts departments at the moment. Or at least when the last time that was updated. It is a highly entertaining game. I'm enjoying it. But I would be pretty disappointed if the Habs couldn't pull out the win tonight. These are the kinds of games they need to win. These division matchups, you're ahead of them in the standings. I know the Sabres are the hottest team in hockey right now, but come on, you got to be the one to get them off that hot streak. I think. I would be pretty I'd be pretty disappointed if the Habs couldn't pull this one out. You know, they've got their backup in tonight. They don't even have their starting goalie. Oh, we have another. That Texier shot looked to be in. Okay, so you agree. All right, I got to go check the replay because I swear it looked conclusively not a goal to me. Nah, cross the line? I don't think it crossed the line. Okay, it's on the line, on the line, on the line, a little bit past the line, but it's never fully crossed the line. I don't think so. Here's a Texier. I just posted the Texier replay on Twitter if you want to go check out the tweet. It doesn't look like it crossed the line to me. It's like on the line. Hey, I'm like in real time it looked in. I know it's kind of nuts how the official was able to get the right call on that one. Good for the official. That can't be easy. That the play was so fast. It was AI replay. How far away are we from some angry fan just making an AI version of what happened and then being like, "See, it was a penalty. It was a penalty this whole time." And they just like AI some guy like high sticking another guy. We're not that far off from that. I hope it doesn't happen anytime soon. I hope none of you were thinking of doing that. Stay away from AI. It'll just I'm giving you advice now. If your choices in life are to do a lot of stuff with AI or just like math, I think you should just do math. I think it's healthier for you at this point. AI is that's gonna rot your brain out fast. Basically 4-3. If you count that as a goal. TSN is showing that when they demoted Slav from the first line, he wasn't the problem. Yeah, Slav was definitely not demoted, and he definitely was not the problem. You're definitely right, Timur. Slav is his own line. Wherever he goes, success will probably follow. But he and Demidov, as you can see, are an amazing pairing, and let's just keep riding that. Blue says there's an app that can sniff out AI. Yeah, but it's probably AI. Can you trust the app? That's what I'm wondering. I don't know. This game is a total toss up, in my opinion. Two solid teams going toe to toe. I like it. Mark. Karen, yeah, I know. I probably should avoid the hot takes on this thing. I should probably be a bit more. All right, here's my question for you guys. Based on what you've seen tonight, will the Sabres make the playoffs for the first time in what I believe is 14 years? Let me know. Are they a playoff? Are they finally a playoff team? Have they finally got their shit together? Let me know. Max says, I think so. They look good. Mark says, I can't see them missing the playoffs with this team. Too much talent. Rick says, if they maintain this pace, yes. All right, we're back for the third period. It is 3-3 still. Sabres leading in the shot department. Canes have two power play goals tonight. And oof. Texier fired a shot point blank. Dahlin's got to make the shot block, and he does. Give him credit there, but he is hurt on the bench. I laugh because I know that he didn't break anything. I think he's just really smarting on the bench. You kind of see that one coming. Deneau was fighting for the puck along the boards, and then he tripped the guy, and there was kind of like a second delay where we're all like, did he get away with it? He did not. I mean, you stick in your stick like that. I don't know. But Mark, I know you saying you weren't too happy with what you've seen with Deno. Certainly, that penalty is not going to make you feel any better. Olympic break will do wonders for the Habs, just like the Four Nations. Yeah, the only difference is this time their captain, who's the guy who could probably use a break the most, will be going. Bad penalty at a bad time, Ryan says. Timur says, I'm sure that puts Deno back in your good book, Mark. And then Mark responds, Hey, I might be an army of one, but I just don't like Deno. Which is totally fine, Mark. You do not have to be a Deno fan. Nobody here has to be a fan of anybody. You can dislike whichever player you like. It's all good. It's all good in the hood around here. I really don't think that we all have to be of the hive mind and all like every player unanimously. Hey, look at Joe Valeno. Look at Joe Valeno here. Look at him fighting for the puck, gets this that's the clear and then gets it all the way almost down the ice. I will say since Deneau's arrived, Valeno no doubt seen the writing on the wall with Evans due to come back. I feel like he's definitely playing his best hockey on the PK. All right, Fowler wisely covers up that puck. 55 seconds left on the power play for Buffalo, but they will be settled in the zone now. 2014, Team Canada took Subban, but they didn't want him there. That is very true. He was the seventh defenseman. I think there was a bit of a I don't know if I'd call it political, but it was definitely like, what? You're gonna omit PK Subban, arguably the best defenseman in the league right now? And they were like, yeah, we are. And then they put him on, but they didn't want him there. I think that's pretty clear. And it turns out the Canadians didn't want him here either. So what can be said about that at this point? Ew, we've got a broken stick here, but the Habs are able to dump it down the ice. Josh Anderson could have been real no man's land without a stick, but able to get the puck to clear. We're back to 5-on-5, and there's 15-20 left. Still a tie game. 24-17 in shots for Buffalo. Rick says, no negative opinion of Deneau's defense since he got here. The Habs have a better win-loss percentage since he came back. And it's 4-3. Tage Thompson has 4 points tonight, 2 goals, 2 assists. He absolutely snookered the word? Oh man, did he just totally turn Hudson inside out? Deneau falls on the ice. Yoicks. Carrier's now where he's got to be. Damn, that was 200th goal in Tage Thompson's NHL career. What a night for Tage Thompson, man. Yeah, Deneau wiped out. Hudson missed the play. It was bad. That was just bad all around. Bad night for a lot of Habs. Pip Fash once again so easy to score against. Buffalo is on the second of a back to back, but the Habs are looking like the tired ones and they're being dominated. It's 100% what's going on right now. Gallagher though breaks in. Can he get a shot off? Puck is just hanging around. Not able to get a shot off though. And then Guhle tried to take a shot, but man, he put it right into the guy's body. What do we got here? We got what, Greenway Gallagher? Good luck. Oh my God, Gallagher is steaming on the bench. Gallagher is heated. Fowler looks like he needs time in Laval. This was not a good night for Fowler. But he's been because Adam, you're saying they're going to kill his confidence. I don't. He's not ready. I don't know. This is like the first I think night where I'm like, okay, send him back. But I think he's been all right so far. I don't think it's been a total bust having him around. He's been all right. Max says that last goal was not on Fowler. I'm trying to figure out if it's a 4-on-4, right? RDS has not told me anything yet. I know Gallagher's in the box, but I believe it's a 4-on-4. Is it not? Yeah, it's a 4-on-4. Tell me something, RDS. Rick said it's not a coincidence that Habs have a good record with Deneau in the lineup. You guys are not in agreement about Phil Deneau tonight. I did not realize Deneau is was a controversial subject. Karen says Fowler's mechanics top notch. I think I don't think any Fowler did anything in his little like audition right now at the Habs to make us think he's not going to be the number one at some point. But yeah, I think everybody should be happy that Montembeault's kind of found his game again because I don't think you want to put that on Fowler just yet. Just a long pass to Kapanen and just like a real icing, like an icing that just did not need to happen. If they're not careful with Fowler, he will be the next primo. Mark my words. I don't think so. Is that going to be a penalty? That's going to be a penalty. Jeez Louise. The reason why I don't think that's going to be the case is because Fowler is a pretty highly touted prospect, whereas Primo was like a guy they drafted in the seventh round. Then he kind of like had a good season, some good seasons in the NCAA, and then they brought him up kind of early and a bit of a different trajectory. Whereas I think Fowler is they're feeling pretty good about his ability. Whereas I think Cap Primo was always kind of like found money for them. A little bit different, but you definitely don't want to ruin Fowler. It could happen. Harry is not feeling good about a comeback tonight. Ryan says, soft call, whereas Steve says, those are some easy calls to make. So Rick says, that last goal was on Fowler. I'll tell you what, the Fowler tonight, Canadians definitely needed a big save from Fowler tonight, and they did not get it. I don't know if they were necessary, other than the Doan one. The Doan one I thought was pretty bad. I think they were just. I don't think they were like ones that necessarily Fowler like they weren't soft necessarily, but he needed to stop at least one of those to give his team a chance because his team is not playing well. Oh, Thompson just like obliterated one off the post. What a shot! Goodness gracious. Pinfash says, "Man, the boys are completely lame tonight. They're coasting." Sabres have definitely ratcheted up the intensity here in the third period, and the Canadiens have not matched. Still time though. It's 10:30, minute left on this power play. Canadiens got to kill this penalty, and then they got to try to get one back here. Oh, Dahlin with a slap shot through traffic. There's no way Fowler saw any of that for a second. There's like five bodies in front of him. Really nice passing here by Buffalo on the power play. Just complete luck that Buffalo hasn't scored again. The Canadiens have no. They're getting turned around here on the PK. Oh, finally, Josh Anderson clears and Kapanen gets out of the box and he's got a wide open net. Why isn't he shooting? Why did he shoot? Somebody shoot the puck, please. You guys are killing me right now. Cole Ellis not even anywhere near his net right now. Come on. And Suzuki just point shot right in the guy's body. Man. I'm dying. Literally dying right now. Ah! Texier in front of the net doing damage, but he sailed his backhand wide. Now, well, that's got to be an icing. Oh man, Adam, what was that going on there? The net was wide open. Why did he like? Okay, Colton Ellis comes up to play the puck, gives it to Kapanen, and then Kapanen skates back in and allows him to get back into his net. Why didn't he just turn and fire it? Ah, yo, Blue says the Sabres. You must hate how many passes the Sabres are doing in the PR play. No, they're doing like two shots shoot, two passes shoot, two passes shoot. No, I think the Sabres power play is doing the perfect amount of like quick passes and then hard shots. Sabres power play is looking good tonight. I mean, Canadiens one's doing all right too. They have two power play goals. They haven't really gotten any power play since then. That was a frustrating sequence though. Max says Buffalo's been the better team. Yeah, they have. Harry says, relax and enjoy that. We got people enjoying the blog. I know, right? Everybody, be good to each other. Don't insult each other. You guys can insult the team all you want. These guys, they're rich. They get paid a lot of money to play hockey. They can take it. But you guys, be good to each other. Eh? Max says that last goal was on Dano and Hudson. Sure was. Sure was. More so than Fowler, if that's what you mean. I agree. Okay, it's at the 7-minute mark. There's 7 minutes left in the third period. It's 4-3 Buffalo, 26-21 in shots. It is now back on 5-on-5. They have successfully killed the penalty. Power plays tonight are Sabres are 4, Habs are 2-4-3. And the Canadiens had a 5-on-3 tonight. They actually scored for a change. And we got a 2-on-1. Come on. And Hudson goes for the shot, and the puck skips over his stick, and we don't get a chance. We get nothing. Oh, that was a nice pass to Texier. He was on a bit of a sharp angle, though, and the goalie, I think, wisely came out to aggressively play it. And now the Sabres going up the ice, but it's kind of a one-on-one. Matheson, I mean, you're not beating Matheson one-on-one. He plays those always like a pro. 'All right, time for the first line to get something done here. No, instead they just can't get it deep, and then the Sabres dump it down the ice, get a change. 5:10 to play, so only about 5 minutes to go. We have not seen any offense from the vaunted second line. Can we see something? Well, we do have something from Demidov, but that was on the first PP unit, so it doesn't quite count. Rick Wood says the last 2 minutes was the difference of the game. Yeah, they couldn't score. Kansas had a chance, couldn't score. Hey, everyone, guess what? It was a 2-on-1 and no shot. Well, this time he tried to shoot, and the puck skipped over his stick, which is a little different from too many passes that fail miserably. So, progress in a way. Lane Hudson pulling a PK Subban. Timfash says lost puck number 4 million. I'm gonna say it all. 4,638,429 this game. Damn, they've lost that many puck battles. They have lost quite a few puck battles. These Sabres guys, man, the Sabres are just relentless. Where did these Sabres come from? Where were the Sabres of the last 14 years that didn't make the playoffs? Where are those Sabres? These Sabres are not those Sabres. They're having a great night tonight. Blue says, not a fan of Texier on the top line. Yeah, I don't know. I think he almost scored earlier today, putting one off the crossbar. And then just now he had a chance. He was in tight. He was doing pretty good. And he spun his backhand and he didn't miss by much. So I don't know. I think Texie's having an all right. He's not on the scoreboard, but I think he's having an all right night so far. Is he? Do you want somebody a little more high end than Texie on the first line? That I can understand. Or Jack I watched got 5 hits in 10:30 tonight. Pimpatch does Slav with a dumb play again. Yeah, he's gonna go. He was red hot. He had like a streak at one point where he went 18 points in 12 games, and now he's got no points last game, no points tonight. Um, consistency's gonna. He's a young player, so consistency's always gonna be tough. But what a night for Tage Thompson, though. They're showing him on the bench, and he is absurdly good. Is he not going to the Olympics? Did they not name him for the Olympics? Fesh says everyone's trying to be a highlight here. The team is years away from maturing. Buffalo playing the game we should have played against the Caps. We're not ready. We're young and mature. Well, I will say that the Buffalo Sabres have been fucking god awful until like a month ago. So the Sabres are playing a great. I'm not disagreeing with you. Sabres playing a great night. Caps should have play like this against the Caps on Tuesday. Don't disagree, but like the Canadiens are still ahead of them in the standings, and the Sabres are like finally playing well after being like awful for a really long time. So I will take some of tonight with a grain of sand. I won't turn this game into a treatise on where both teams stand. And then Harry says, we are young. So are the Sabres, though. The Sabres are additionally as young, one of the few teams that are as young as the Habs are. Maturity doesn't just come foundation. The Leafs aren't young anymore. How has their development gone? It starts now. I I don't understand. They're literally 2 points. Like if they win tonight, they're tied for the division lead, and you're talking about them like this is like a disaster and they need to rebuild again. Like look, this is not a great night. The other night was also not a great night. The Detroit night, not a great night. Look, I'm not saying this team is like going to win a cup tomorrow, but I do think that it's a little better than you're playing it out to be a little bit. I like this. Just notice, no broken sticks. The Habs need a Mike Matheson stick disintegration. Maybe that is the good luck charm. Max says Mitch Gallo thinks Detroit aren't as good as they look, but I do feel that way about the Habs. Pretty plays are only good if the puck goes in the net at the end. The thing about Detroit is if you look under like the hood of their stats, they are crazy good when Moritz Seider is on the ice. Like when Seider is on the ice, it tips the scales and they're amazing. And then when he's not on the ice, they're kind of like the team that they've always been, that sort of borderline playoff team that misses the playoffs by like a point or two. So if that's what Gallo means, I do think that the Detroit Red Wings are getting like an insane season from Seider and benefiting from it. Um, but yeah, the Habs are like, Tampa's starting to pull away in that division a little bit, and I'm like, yeah, Tampa's Tampa's better than Montreal. I'm not gonna lie there, and it'll be interesting to see what Toronto can do now that they're hot. Can they like get back into the division lead? We'll see. The Canadiens are in tough. The Canadiens do need to like reverse what's happening right now. And it'll be a very important part of their building if they can do it. And if they can't do it, they are going to need some reinforcements. Whatever that means, I don't know exactly, but they still need players. They're not like fully there yet. Gary, thanks for joining us with 5 minutes left in the game. Um, Habs are pretenders. Pimp Dash calling it. Montreal will pull the goalie and then turn it over. That does happen a lot when they pull the goalie, which is part of the challenge about pulling the goalie, I will say. Blue says Detroit is not as good as they're playing. Mark says they're facing Buffalo's third string goalie. Is he the third string or the backup? Who's the backup? Who's played the most this year for them? Actually, I should check that out. Hold on. Alex Lyon. What happened to him? Is he hurt? Is that the deal with Alex Lyon? Is that why Colton Ellis is up here? That's the third string goalie. The only way the Leafs are going to get over to take the Habs is on the 401, Steve Frost says. And Harry with a little snipe at Gary's favorite team, the Ottawa Senators. All right. Well, look, there you go. Goalie pull. And Deno did win the faceoff, so I will give him credit there. But now they got to turn it into something. And looks like there you go. Well, you were right with your prediction. Did you even say Tage Thompson hat trick? You should have bet on the Tage Thompson hat trick. 5-3. Dobson did get tripped coming back, but at this point, the whistles are away. You gotta. Pimvash did indeed call it. Leafs are playing a lot better than the Habs right now. Yeah, I mean the Toronto Maple Leafs are actually like hot now for a little bit, but I mean they still got a lot of ground to make up. Are you guys all? You guys aren't actually Leafs fans, are you? Why would a Leafs fan? It's not enough going. There's not enough going on here for Leafs fans. I'm gonna assume not. Max says Detroit made me a believer in the game against the Habs. They were better in every aspect of the game and completely shut down the Habs. That was a really impressive game for the Red Wings, I will say. I think the other times that I've seen them, I haven't been as impressed. And then that Detroit game, I was like, oh yeah, there's a reason why they keep hanging around at the top of the division. Blue and Cat separated birth, or maybe separated hip, or maybe the same person. No, no, no. Mark. They're long time live bloggies. They are different people, I will say. And besides, the Habs are bad hive mind is a lot larger tonight than the Habs are good hive mind, I will say. You guys are tipping the scales a little bit tonight. I will say that we're not usually so down on the Habs around here. I mean, I don't mind if you are. By the way, Pinfash, he did call that, so we're gonna give Pinfash his flowers. Max, better team won for sure. Timor says Sabres won this one fair and square. Ottawa Saturday. God, that's going to be a big one. Habs have to win Saturday. Otherwise, then they're on like a legit losing streak. Mark says, hate the Leafs more than my former mother-in-law. Damn. Mark says the Leafs are Detroit Vegas. Are you Mark, you seem very preoccupied about the Leafs tonight. I don't know why. You're not usually this pre I feel like you're not usually this preoccupied about the Leafs, but whatever. If you guys think the Leafs are gonna fucking do anything this year, knock yourselves out. Knock yourselves out. Karen says this was fun. Was it? I hope it was fun. I hope it was fun for you. Lots of arguing tonight. Can we trade Caulfield for Nylander? What on earth is going on in here tonight? Buffalo hungrier, shut out by Wings, lose to Tampa, choke to Caps. But hey, we beat the last place Canucks. The games are getting tighter, and the Habs are folding like cheap chairs. Pathetic. Damn. They won a few other games in that little like stretch you're talking about, but I know what you mean. The Detroit Capitals and tonight are three bad losses. Like they're bad because these are teams that like you wanted to see them do better against. They didn't do well. Yeah, this is I think how I would say. The Habs have had weak games of late. They're in the mix, but they've had weak games of late. Derek Stevens, we're just not that good. Other teams have beat us and are improving. We're not. We're just getting very little from the third and fourth lines, and we're not pounding them. We can't win a war of attrition. Max says, now that Texier is signed, see a cup. Karen says, I hate the Leafs. You guys are talking about the Leafs a lot. I don't, why are the Leafs back in the conversation here? Wait, Mark says, I live in Toronto. Don't get the Habs game except for Saturdays. Watching the Leafs game right now. And thanks for the great job as always. Oh, okay. That's why you're talking about the Leafs because you're watching the Leafs. Okay, fair. I was like, yeah. I'm like, Mark, you always talk Habs, and then you talk about the Leafs tonight. I was like, what's going on? Rick says, Habs played a good 30 minutes and slept for the other 30. You just didn't win that many games with 30 minutes of intensity. No excuse. Sabres are just as young. Why are Buffalo fans cheering USA? Well, at least Tage Thompson is American. At least they can justify that. Anyways, but yeah, there's no sugarcoating that one. That was not a good game. Got to do something with Gallagher. Picking up Dano was a mistake. Texe can't stay on the first line, Carter says. All right. Well, so Saturday, Senators must win. Absolutely. And then Tuesday, Thursday, so it's mini and then back with Buffalo. Um, so as you know, Gazette, you can watch the live blog replay. I'll just update that quickly. If you want to watch all the highlights of the game, in about 2 hours or so, you'll get the hidden game. Tomorrow morning, you'll get about last night with more highlights and context of what happened. And you will also get an additional episode of Hockey Inside Out about Michael H. with Chris Nyland and Rick Green. So please check all that out. Enjoy. Um, Canadians are, once again got a chance to take the division lead. They did not take advantage of that opportunity, and they've got some teams like the Leafs and the Sabres now nipping at their heels. This race for the Atlantic Division is going to be crazy. The Canadians cannot let up. The Canadians absolutely can miss the playoffs if they're not. Yeah, as Adam said, they can be out of the playoff picture very fast. They cannot go on a losing streak. Too many teams are playing too well right now. The Atlantic Division is just a giant traffic jam of a bunch of teams that got a chance. Um, yeah, they're gonna have to turn this around. This was not a great night. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Again, check out the Montreal Gazette for all the coverage of the game, and we're gonna set you up good for Saturday. We got some stuff coming, a little bit about the Sens, a little bit about you know what, I don't know, you know what. Anyway, see, even Timur wouldn't write the obituary just yet. Don't write the obituary. There's so much season to go. You guys are all gonna get multiple heart attacks watching this team because this team, win or lose, is pretty fun to watch, but they are absolutely, man, they can blow you out of the water 1 second and get turf the next second. This Canadians team is gonna make me lose all my hair. My hair's already gray, so it's gonna make me lose my hair next, I think. But everybody have a good night.